will manage. Spawning in the top left position of the map, that is RSL Crux Frost. We are going to have the blue Protoss player. You guys know him as Papa Ra. It is WhiteRa, the king of special tactics. And the king of drones in the top right position. Quite a regal affair we have going on here today. As the red Zerg player is going to be from Team Liquid. You know him as @LiquidRet. I swear, there are probably more people that have heard @LiquidRet more than they've heard of the actual player. But it's kind of cool, you know. We get some players that like to do interesting strategies on a rather interesting map. Crux Frost has some interesting features on it. We tested this out in our RSL Season 5 preseason, where we did the G Nations series of show matches. And I think I kind of like that we're bringing in maps from the community, being able to show off some of the new content that map makers have been bringing in. I actually believe this one was in the voting for the Team Liquid map contest to be added to ladders. So if you guys decide that after watching this you really like it, you can totally vote for that if it's not already been decided. And just check it out. Now, Rhett's going to open up with a economic spawning pool. He's not going to be leaving himself vulnerable to any kind of crazy early attacks or anything like that. And you know, but I'd say that's within a pretty solid amount of reason. So, WhiteRa scouting around. It does look like he wants to go for a Nexus first, and there it is now coming in that natural expansion. So Probe's gonna head on back home, and Rhett's gonna take that his own natural. So nothing really revealing yet. And keep in mind, guys, this is a best of 3. Whoever wins this will play against IG's Jim. And after watching Jim play versus STC, I feel like Jim is going to be a shoo-in to get out of this group. So whoever wins this match is still going to have a very, very rough time playing versus Jim. I almost feel like... actually, I have no idea, now that I think about it. Between WhiteRa and Rhett, who could beat Jim? WhiteRa might be unpredictable enough that he could catch Jim off guard. And then Rhett, well, I mean, if he gets away with his greed, that could work as well. And Rhett's actually going to go straight for that third base. And one of the things about Crux Frost is that the third base is actually very difficult to secure. But WhiteRa, he's not doing anything greed. He's not doing anything aggressive. He's opening up. He's getting the cannon, getting his gateway, going to take his gas now. He even built the forge inside of his main just to be safe. So can't really blame him for that. The probe, unfortunately, has been tagged by a Zergling. So no hidden pylons or anything like that. No hidden bases for WhiteRa just yet. And the other important thing is that WhiteRa actually has not scouted the third yet, which is a really big deal because it's one of the number one things you want to know about. Although he can metagame Rhett and say, well, you're going to go for 3 bases and match drones, and then Rhett would say, of course. But you know, depending on where WhiteRa thinks the third base would be, you know, he could very easily metagame himself. We actually have this interesting little bridge in the top center area of the map where you can just kind of like zoom things around. I really like the layout of this map. You kind of get that snowy feeling, but you also get the forest feeling to it, which is kind of cool. Just a really naturey map, I guess. And I also want to point out we have just pure drones from Rhett. He's not doing anything weird, and he probably won't take any gas until he's saturated on 3 bases. So that's going to be around like maybe the 6-minute mark we could see him take gas. If Rhett doesn't take gas at 6 minutes, then I'll be completely lost, because I mean, as much as you want a drone, I am curious to see the extent of his greed. And there we go, double gas. This is about as much as I expected. And Rhett already still has a lot of drones, 10 more coming out. He does not like making Zerglings. He does not like scouting with Zerglings. He makes only 2 at the least convenient, I guess the most inconvenient moment where he's basically forced to. WhiteRa, though, finishing up his wall. And this is interesting. It looks like WhiteRa wants to go for some kind of 4-gate pressure. And I only say it's because he's got the forge here for the +1 attack. He's got these 3 gateways coming in, and he's chrono boosting out Warp Gate, but he doesn't have anything like a Stargate. He doesn't have a robotics facility. He doesn't have a Twilight Council. So it doesn't look like WhiteRa wants to do much other than put on a lot of aggression to kind of punish the greedy build of Ret. And I can't blame him because, you know, you're walking and you're playing against a guy that's going to play this greedily. The Roachborn's just starting now, but Warp Gate's going to be done soon. These gateways are complete. They're going to be transitioning into that Warp Gate mode. Ret comes in. He sees this. He knows there's something amok. He's like, okay, well, that Forge is going, but I don't know how long it's been going. I don't know how if Warp Gate's about to be done. I don't know if he's, you know, delayed it for something like a fast air attack. WhiteRa, though, one of his Stalkers is going to get caught here. This Zealot and Stalker trying their best to fight. He's got to be a little bit more careful. He cannot afford to lose these units, especially with this pressure of another pylon coming up here for Papa Raw. And, you know, the aggression, it becomes very, very clear how much he wants to put in. And, well, this third base from Ret is going to be in a lot of danger. He's building a Spine Crawler, but the Stalker is here. He's got a good number of Zealots, and he might focus on the Queen first because that will allow him to cut the production head off of Ret. He will be able to get the injection off before the Queen dies, however, which is going to be very important. And the Zealots are getting on top of these units. Ret taking a bit of damage here. WhiteRa is bringing the pain, and the Stalker is doing a bit of poking, not getting too much in, but this many Zealots is going to be so hard to deal with for Ret. WhiteRa getting in here. The Roaches are beginning to come out for Ret, but are they going to be in time? They are. Well, the Zealots are actually not having the best time at all trying to cut through these, but the Stalker for the support is adding in a lot of extra DPS, being able to pick apart these units from afar. More Zealots being warped in. With this +1 attack, WhiteRa can do so much damage with these Zealots. It's actually quite crazy. He's managed to shoot through most of the drones at the third base. This Roach not able to kill the Stalker, and it's like a hero Stalker here because Ret, he doesn't have his speed yet. It's going to be done soon, but he's going for a Spire, and I think that's actually going to help him quite a bit because WhiteRa behind this has transitioned into that robotics facility. He's putting pressure on the third base, yes, but there's a lot of gas being mined for Ret, and once that Spire's done, Mutalisk is going to make life a living hell. And WhiteRa, he's just continuing to put this pressure on. He's almost going all in at this point with how much he's invested into this. I don't know that he's actually going to be able to defend against the Mutalisks at all once they come. And Ret's going to GG. Yeah, damn. He just gives, Ret's just going to GG here, game number 1. I'm a little bit surprised. I feel like the Mutalisks could have worked well. There wasn't much defense for them. But, yeah, the Immortal follow-up, I guess Ret figured that the Mutas wouldn't be able to stop him from taking too much damage before he went down. So, WhiteRa takes game number 1 in this this best of 3 series. Nice play so far. And, you know, that good bit of aggression, that's a great way to punish the type of style that Ret goes for. It's a great way to punish that greedy, super heavy drone opening where you just don't have any units. He didn't have, you know, he took so much damage, he invested so much to being able to defend it. It was absurd. So, yeah. Anyway, we're going to go into the next game as soon as we can, guys. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Russian Starleague, Season 5. You're currently watching Ret versus WhiteRa. The winner plays Jim Credible. Don't go anywhere.